And really the idea is that parents can open this up with their kids, not so much of get in the car, let's go, but hey, let's work together to find, do we want to see a waterfall today? Are we interested in climbing something? So that kids can really start to build their hiking muscle as they grow up.
And you've got a line early on in the book that I really liked. It was, the basic question is, how do we design experiences that inspire wonder?
My goal is to help not only inspire kids to be curious, but for parents to be curious as well and say, I might not know the answer, but let's look online or let's use an app after the hike and see if we can find the answer to that.
Let's talk about a few of the hikes that you chose for the state of Maine. And let's begin with Bradbury Mountain at the state park in Pownell. What appealed to you about this?
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, Rob, summiting something for kids is a big deal, like their first time to be on top of something. And Bradbury is such an accessible summit, right? And it's your quintessential ledge that will let you see all over. So we love Bradbury because it's a simple loop. All of the hikes in the book are meant to be fairly, direction agnostic, like you can't really get lost. So we really tried to find good loops like Bradbury. When you pick hikes like this, not only do you have the summit, but along the way, you've got a lot of really cool things that your kids can find out. They can look and say, oh, I spot the feldspar. Even just hearing your kids say feldspar or quartz is really exciting.
In Acadia National Park, there are, of course, dozens of wonderful hikes. You chose, again, though, one that you think is especially good for kids and for families. Great Head. What was it that made this one stand out for you?
Oh my gosh, what didn't stand out? But Great Head's really amazing because you get the beach. You've got, once you hit the beach, now you got Beehive Mountain behind you, some really cool features that you're looking at. But you actually go up to an old historic spot where a tea house used to sit. And then once you're out there, you really can see as far as the eye can see.
You've got a lot of tips that are scattered throughout the book. One that I thought was really good is to bring other kids along. Don't just bring your own kids along when you go on a hike. Bring other kids, bring other families, because that'll really engage the kids. You won't have to be paying attention to them the whole time. They'll just really have much more of an experience when they get to do it with their friends.
Oh my gosh, yes. And really just the conversations that can happen. Most of the hikes are, 1 to 4 miles. But as your kids get older, we really encourage families to try a challenge, right? Try one that's a little bit longer. And those long hikes, like a 4-mile hike, the conversations that kids can have just without you having to be right with them or engaging in a conversation, them stopping at what they think is interesting. It's really magical and a rite of passage for kids.
Let's touch on one more hike in Maine. We'll go to the western part of the state, Table Rock. What do you like about this?
This is a challenging hike, but it's very cool. They have rungs in the rock as you're climbing up to that viewpoint. And we did this one in fall and in the summer. And it's a really amazing view. You can see some of the geological kind of streaks happening on the rocks. And then we even ran into some Appalachian Trail hikers. And one thing we love to talk with families about is reaching for goals. Maybe one day your kids will summit, Katahdin, and maybe one day they might take you when you're older. So this one's a really great taste. And it gives kids a little bit of a challenge to go up and take these ladders and make their way all the way up to Table Rock. So all around, just a really exciting hike for kids.
Let's end on this note. You make the point that kids these days lead such structured lives. When they get a chance to get out in the open in beautiful places, it really just unleashes something in them that's wonderful.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to do, is really instill a lifelong love, not just for hiking, but for nature.